stuff. So, it doesn't look.
Delay.
Yes. John? You hear us, John?
I can hear you.
All right, we kind of have a full room tonight. It is 7:04. I'd like to call the regular scheduled planning and zoning meeting for the town of Voluntown to order for November 20th, 2024. Members present, Scott Davidson.
Pat Ray, Julia Hart.
Steve Stefanski, David Neiman.
We're not going to be seating any alternates tonight with a full board. So we have a public hearing. The rules for the public hearing, it was posted in the paper November 11th, November 18th. There'll be a presentation by the applicant. Then it will be open to the public to speak. And then the board can ask questions as well. Once the public hearing closes, the board will make a decision or table it and then move along. So if you would like to present, that would be wonderful.
And you have maps up there?
Yep.
Charles Dutch, principal partner in Dutch and Associates in Colchester, Connecticut. 392 South Main Street, to be exact. I have your cards, and the letter that I sent, we represent this to the young lady over here.
That's fine, yeah. Yeah.
Well, what we're proposing to do is to rejuvenate an old building that looks like it's been around for a while and disrepair, and we're going to make it into a 4-apartment complex. And you have in front of you this, you have plenty of plans. Is to show, well, the first thing we did was to find out how much septic area we had. So we went ahead and designed a septic system that satisfied the health department for the flow rate that we have. The next thing we did was to demonstrate the parking requirements, and we fit the building to the parking, because the parking was somewhat limited. The landscaping, there's not much we could do with the landscaping because there's not much room left after we had the parking and the building and everything. So that's the only area that we, if anything, wanted more landscaping, but we've met or exceeded all the other requirements. Regulations. I don't know how far you want to get into this as far as the lighting. We have a full cutoff lighting proposed on the building. It's not there now. Present any of these.
Do you have a lighting plan? The outside lighting,
I beg your pardon?
outside lighting?
The outside lighting, yes.
Where is it on here?
It's full cutoff on
There's 2 on the back. Have the back over the. And now is that lighting gonna cover the deck as well? Because those stairs have to be lit. Or if that's the means of egress for fire escape, those have to be per code.
Okay,
So does that lighting,
they're not designed to light that, no. We have to have, we have
so
to
you're
have,
gonna have to do something else to address that situation,
okay,
which the fire marshal will probably do. But I mean, if it's part of your lighting plan. It should have been on there.
Oh, okay.
What else do you have? Pretty much it.
That's about it.
Where's the driveway, the actual access onto it?
Well, this is existing.
And then it does what?
That's the
Like it comes all the way
the
in,
apron to come in. Well, it's dirt after. It's gravel.
but
After,
this is your property line here, so
Right,
you
yes.
cross over, whoever this is. Post office.
right, no, that's the town property, yeah. It's town.
They have an easement over town property to access here.
I never heard of such a thing.
An easement,
An easement to get across town property, to get to a property?
well, this is your property line here, right? So this is somebody else's property, usually it's just an access easement.
No, it's not somebody, it's the town's
Is
property,
it the right of way, just the road right of way?
yes.
That's usually part of the
Oh.
post office,
No, it's not
town
part of
property,
the, no,
or
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
My question is, what do we have for distance between the end of the parking and this here? You know what that measurement is by any chance?
From where to where?
From the end of the parking to this next parking spot over here? This distance.
Again, okay, you're pointing here.
From here
Yeah.
to here, what do we have for a distance? As your alleyway, what is this distance?
do you have a scale?
I don't know.
Or you can use it?
This last parking spots. One inch equals 20.
And
20 feet.
It's 20 feet.
4. So it's one way in, one way out, right?
Right. Now, what was that? The alley with, and then what's this back in here? See, back in here, we're not. We're less than 20 feet.
Back and square. Right back, and
24 feet for two-way traffic, 14 for one-way traffic.
Would that be considered two-way traffic? Because it's in and out.
Yeah,
So 24. And what do we have? 20?
yeah, well, sure.
It's tight. And then up in this, the far end comes even less. And then where did you plan on putting snow?
We don't have too many places to put it.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
and then this is the site plan, I mean, it's multifamily, so it's kind of considered commercial. Are you paving this?
It's all, it says that it's all crushed stone.
Do they have to pave this? I mean,
I don't think there's anything in our regs that says that, does it?
it
I don't think it
does,
does.
but,
Do you know if there's anything in the regs, John, that says that they have to pave that because it's commercial?
Pave the, well, it's not commercial, it's residential.
requires a
But it's, no, I don't believe to like the wearing surface of the parking area.
Yeah, I read it somewhere. I'll try to find it again.
Okay.
And then are you like,
Handicap will do.
is there gonna be ballards around all this here? To protect a car from running into the decks and stuff.
We could put some,
I think there needs to be something. And with the bulkhead and whatnot. Anybody else have anything before I open it up to the public
I
here?
did just, dumpsters, garbage cans.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you for that.
and then, I mean, this is a strange site, so I don't know where you get 1,000 feet of open space, but, there are opportunities for landscaping, because you're supposed to have a perimeter buffer. I mean, are you gonna do anything to free it up around, where it looks not so nice?
I think putting some paint on, it might pretty it up.
That too, but, I totally agree. This is the road, so, this is that front, right? This is like where the front entrance is right now.
Church would be over here. This
Yeah,
is
so
the
this is
post
That's,
office.
So like
that's what it
in
was.
here,
apparently, yeah.
I mean, there are some opportunities to try to comply with the intent of the reg.
I know, well, I mean, this is kind of open to the to the post office side.
That's this
What
side, right?
what is gonna define the property line that the tenants stay on your property and not on the post office property?
As you can see, we don't have a great deal of room.
I understand that, but there's no way to define that either on a day-to-day basis.
The fence up. I think planting should be more dimensional than fence.
The last is supposed to be like 10 feet deep, and never get that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I said, you could put something there. Supposed to put a fence between the post office site, but
And
how
then
much will that eat into this?
what's gonna happen with this grade change over here
Well, it's gonna have to be cut back, cut down.
to the
this corner.
property line? And then how are you gonna retain it?
Well, it's not being retained right now, so. Put a little retaining wall there, I guess.
I'm
Yeah.
still confused about this because it says 42 Church Street, Aristides Johnson seems to be this, part of this.
What is?
The other address here is it's 42 Church Street, now formerly Johnson.
Okay,
It goes right around the corner. Not clear that that's a road right away. You're coming over this guy's property, you're definitely gonna need an easement. I mean,
It's not his property. No. I have a map in a map with me that shows the property line from the original survey for the post office, where that piece came out of.
I'm just going by this map. He's having trouble.
My understanding was, repeating what somebody else told me, but my understanding was that you changed the regulations so that with this particular building in mind, to allow it to go with these four families. And knowing the restrict, I mean, we've got what we've got, the building's there. If we take,
You might need variances I mean, if you can't comply with everything, you might need a variance. We're just trying to figure out if we can fit, like, can that parking spot be put somewhere else? One parking spot be during the room up front? I'm calling this the front because that's where I remember the door to be.
well, there is property that. Up there. I mean, here's the property line right here.
And if you had to take this away to get your 24 feet, could you stick one more parking spot somewhere on the side? beef up a little.
They would, I mean, we tried to make it a little bit more. I mean, this is the obvious, entrance to the building. These are all, everything's upstairs.
I mean,
So-
I'll say this sort of off the record, if you show it to comply with the plan with the parking spot here, we're not gonna be policing it to make sure not everybody parked back there. But you know what I mean? The plan would have to show that it's in compliance.
Well,
Okay.
if that parking spot wasn't there,
You
they
have
could
the
get
24.
they could get some buffering in there as well.
But then also, there's gotta be some place for garbage cans or something, I mean, a dumpster of some sort, you know,
Underneath the deck.
a small.
There's room
When I
underneath
say
the
dumpster, I
deck.
mean the regular,
Probably.
for all four of them.
Oh, it's a pretty good size deck.
Hmm.
But we can show them there if you like.
And then the setbacks, you can have smaller setbacks, I guess it doesn't really matter if you need them. But with that non-conforming setback thing, it's only like 10 feet, and you didn't have a zoning compliance there, but I think it's only side yard 10, front yard 20, it's just, you can park in your setbacks, so right?
Should be. Are we good so that we hear from?
Yeah, let's ask you, we get to ask questions first.
No, I know.
Um,
Open this up to the public then, the Tom,
Can I make a couple of comments on
Well-
one of the buildings?
state your name and address, please.
Patrick St. Jean, David Avenue, West Shore, Rhode Island. Right, so I bought this building a few years ago, so it's been 3 years.
Yep.
And, you know, I've done a lot of this and built houses, so I think in between buying the building and now I probably did 17 houses, including build new ones. So, you know, I'm asking for some leniency, but I also know I have to comply with the rules. And I have no issues with that, but it's like they said, that's a unique building, so the way I'm looking at it is exactly not knowing all the rules, because I'm just a contractor and an investor. I'm looking at it my way and my lens. Okay, if I can provide more housing, that's better, but I want to comply with the rules. But I'm also asking for leniency, because it's costing me a lot of money, which is revert to one thing, is like me walking away and let the building sit the way it sits and do absolutely nothing. And because I have nothing left, that's literally what it comes down to. I have nothing left, is like, I can just, okay, it is, I'll just doing my taxes, it's a loss I make every year. So it's not something I want to do. I don't want to start something and don't finish it. I rather finish it to see, okay, and that's why I try to comply with everything I'm asked. And, you know, one thing, if I was asked all this thing up front, we probably wouldn't be in this situation that probably resolved itself a little earlier than this today. So it's like everything is one by one. I was asking, oh, we need this after I provide this. And, but anyway, so that's kind of like what I'm asking. So it's, at this point, I have no other ways to go. It's, you know, that's what I'm asking for, leniency, not favors. And, you know, even with the building department, no issues, but, you know, I get permit, then you can do siding, you can do windows, not complaining, but I'm just making a forefront so everybody understands where I'm coming from. But I can't, and I have a stop order, which there's a few things I talked to the building inspector, is not being bad or being anything, but the way I'm looking at it on my side, at least. And be honest, as honest as I can be. So if I need to put windows and with a stop order, I can't do framing. So I can't do framing for my doors and my windows that's left. So therefore I can't get to the siding. But he said, yes, you can put siding, but you cannot do any framing. So that's kind of like where, and I said, okay, so I said, well, if I come in to pick up my stuff inside or try to do anything else, I don't want to get myself in any trouble, because I know it's a one-way street. I'm not going to win that battle. It is going to be what it's going to be, and I understand that part. So that's why I told him, when everything is all settled, then I'll come back and do what I need to do if there's something moving forward. So that's kind of like where I stand as far as that goes. And, you know, like I said, respectfully, I'm asking for some leniency. But at this point, you know, I kind of like get to a point in a corner, there's not much I can do to move forward. if I can't move forward. If that makes sense. And that's all I want to say. Thank you for listening.
Anybody else?
Russell Hyde, 25, Wilson Road. This gentleman first started doing some of the demo work there. I was there, remember we took the piano apart? I think we scrapped all that. That is a unique building, and it was built probably 200 years ago. And for a long time, it was a busy bar originally, and then restaurant. And in my mind, I've been in construction since I was 14, I'm 74. This man, I think he should be blessed for trying to undertake such a damn mess there. It was a pretty messy. And he probably will not be able to. That's a weirdly shaped lot. I don't know if there's any more property available towards the post office. The only thing that I would be concerned would be safety, because that's a that road that comes by the post office, it's busy there, and the first thing you don't want is someone getting hurt. There's enough people that walk down that street anyway, but I think you should grant this gentleman some leniency. You're gonna have to do a little twisting and shouting, and I think he's done the building looks better now than it has in 50 years. And I think he deserves, and I know every town, every city needs tax money coming in. You probably haven't gotten any taxes out of that building in 30 years. It's been empty 30 years. Well, it was open for a little while, but give both of these guys, he's a longtime surveyor, and this man here is willing to spend some money. I'd say let him bend a little.
I want to say for the record, I'm not against it. I'm thrilled that it's being redone. Just, I'm trying to figure out a way that we can make this
It's a
conform.
tough one to make.
I know, we're just thinking
Yeah.
out loud here.
Yeah.
That's our job as commission.
Bill Lashiko, 145 Preston City Road. I got a question, parking. Are they gonna be parking in the front of the building?
You want to come see the map? It's right on this map.
My concern about that is traffic is, them cars go up that road now.
Yeah, it's all
Really, really
coming off
fast.
of Church Street.
Okay,
It's all, this is
there'll be
all,
no parking in the
no
front,
park, right now, there's no parking in the front.
so they're gonna take up all that asphalt that's there? Or is the asphalt gonna stay there? In the front of the building? Yeah. And how many cars can park back there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 cars with 4 apartments. Where's the regular park? Not on the street?
Well, there are 2 cars per apartment and 2 of them all 1 unit, so they're allowed 1 car.
Oh, so there's a restriction.
Yeah.
If you're moving there with your kid, your kid can't have a car.
Pretty much.
I think that's it. I'm just concerned about traffic. 165, because man, I'm telling you, going 60 miles an hour. that road.
Thank you, Bill. Any other questions or comments?
How many, the units, how many people could be in each unit?
So there's two bedrooms, right? Let me,
1 3-bedroom, 1 2-bedroom, 2 1-bedroom.
It's 7 bedrooms total.
yes, 7 bedrooms. So potentially 14 people.
Code's different here for a 2-family versus a 4-family? Generally.
That would fall within the building department, not the planning and zoning. Anybody have any other questions?
I want to speak here a little bit tonight. I'm in town. How are you? My name is Aris Johnson, and I'm the owner of the adjacent property.
Post office.
My question to the commission, I have several questions. First of all, I want to address the fellow that said the building hasn't been paid taxes in 30 years. Well, I want to bring you up to date that the taxes have been paid each and every year. So the town did get their money for the property. Big concern that I have is that creating 4 apartments. I understand one of the apartments is going to be 3 bedrooms and 2 of the apartments are going to be 2 bedrooms.
No, 2 apartments for the.
Is that
one-
correct?
2
No.
1s, 1 3, and 1 2.
1 3-bedroom,
Correct.
One 2-bedroom.
1 apartment is 1 bedroom.
2 apartment on 1s, so 2 1s, 1 2, and 1 3.
Okay, so there's a 3-bedroom apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, and 2 apartments with 1 bedroom each.
Correct.
All right, so you're gonna have an accumulation of cars. And the question comes up between this parcel and the post office. When we built the post office back in 1989, when we got approval, it was a different situation with delivering mail, and they proposed that there might have been an expansion to the postal department because as the town grew and more people came, they would need more room to expand. So they were happy to get the building. I don't know, I have a map here of the original. I don't know if I could submit it now or somebody else.
If you submit it, we need to submit it for records.
Yeah, you can take it for record. Stephen, give me yours. Well, I had a couple of copies, but
That's fine.
fortunately, this stuff was 35 years old, and I still had a record of it. But if the commission wants to try to explain, is that this is the post office. And currently, there's a berm here. And originally, they only wanted parking for 13 spots. But they said someday, if they wanted to expand it, the property line is over here. And it doesn't show it on his map, but we had it surveyed. And by the way, when I sold property to Fleming, he came in and he did some redesigning work and he pulled out these pins that were in there. So that's another story. But anyway, the proposal here was that this could be moved over to here and they could expand the building to provide more parking. Well, here comes the computer age and everybody's on with one of these picture phones. So now the mail business is not going forward like it originally intended. But still, this portion of the land is leased to the post office. And I have a 5-year lease with them currently. And there's not going to be negotiated to, I don't want to get into that part. It's too complicated. So what's going to happen here is with this 4-bedroom building, it's going to be at least 4, 5, 6 cars. And they're going to see this open area in here, so they're going to say, well, what are we going to do? Park the cars up against the building? No, we're going to be parking in this open area. There's going to be a problem because the trucks coming out of here, they use the second driveway. There's 3 driveways. There's one down here by the building. There's one in front of this berm, and there's another one on the other side of the berm, which the trucks Yes. Correct. And they come out of the loading dock and they circle around through here. Now, one of the things was mentioned was snow plowing. So the person owning this property is gonna plow the snow, and where is he gonna put it? They're gonna plow it and push it into this open area. That's one of the issues. The other issue is if the people parking their cars and there's not enough room in the back of the building, they're gonna be parking it over here. So what are they gonna do? Ask the guy, can you move your cars to get, so the trucks can get in and out? It's gonna be a problem. I can see that down the road. So what I am interested in is that at the owner's expense, on the property line, there would be some kind of a permanent fence put up. So that the people occupying the building can't encroach onto post office property. And that's the only way I think this thing can go forward peacefully, because, you know, the old saying is, census keep good neighbors.
Is there any opportunity to
Yeah, that's
adjust the line, or, I mean,
correct.
is that not negotiable that you a
This
little
is,
bit
this is the
over?
property line, so the reference that I was speaking to over here comes to over here, so this is all vacant.
I know, would he be willing to give more to this property or no?
This property is leased under a current lease to the postal department.
I mean, is that
I mean,
No, that's what he's saying. It's not negotiable, not negotiable.
it's not negotiable because you don't understand working with the government.
Yeah, I do actually.
You got a lease at this thick. And,
I just curious.
No, I agree with you. It needs some definition of property boundaries there because of the way.
right, because, you know, I'm not, are you the owner of the property?
No.
You're the owner? Yes. Well, I haven't come up here and complained, but the building materials and, you know, the first time you came up and you had your dumpster, you had it on the property of the postal department. But it wasn't a big issue, but as things went on, I saw that it was already encroaching. You gotta know where your property lines are before you start construction. Because you just can't come into town and say, well, I go this far, and I go that far, and then so, no, you gotta stay within your boundaries. And that's what has to be done. So. Questions here about the snow removal. Cleaning out the backyard, what are you gonna do? Push the snow over into the open area? Then the trucks can't come in and come out of the driveway. That's one of the things. And the fence, we discussed that. And 4 apartments, gonna have probably 6 cars in there. I don't understand where all this parking is gonna be, but I do understand one thing, it's not gonna be on this vacant lot.
Where did
Yeah,
they park before?
what's that?
Where did they park when it was, whatever it was? Where did they park
The
when it was a
saloon?
bar?
Yeah, when it was this one.
Well, when it was a bar, this is the whole thing. You know, this goes back a long ways. When it was a bar, they were using this because Jack Dorsett and Mike Green owned this whole parcel of land. And then it was sold as 3 parcels. But anyways, they were parking out in the back here, and this was just all vacant. So they had plenty of parking here because he owned both these parcels and he also owned this parcel. But when he got separated from his wife, he divided this thing in 2 and he gave the house and this part to his wife, and he kept the bar with his vacant lot. And this happened back in the mid-1980s.
Juliet, how long is that road frontage of the,
This one?
no, of the post office, please?
This one?
The road frontage. What is the road frontage? And I'm getting at something, but what is the road frontage on Church Street? What is that length?
Oh,
Oh, it was 300,
351.
Never mind then.
Why?
Because there is in our regs, if they have parking within 200 feet of the property, that they can use a subsequential parking spot, but that's over, so it have to be, there's parking spots on Church Street, but they're beyond that. They're down by the barber shop. There's a couple of parking spots, but it's too far away
And we,
to be considered.
and we don't think we should consider any, I mean, I know people think it's dangerous or whatever, but
Well,
this is all paved up front.
I know that, but is there actual sight lines and curb cuts with the state?
And looks like it. I mean, it's all paved here. I mean, it goes right to the road.
Is there anything on record that there's a curb, sight lines?
Is there, I don't know. I feel like you could, sort of park parallel to the building, get one in there.
I'm worried about road access and an accident. and
Yeah,
coming back
yeah,
down.
on the front.
Inside. It's gonna go up or something. Is there a retaining wall or something up there?
Not retaining wall, just kind of pops up.
Yeah, but the front is paved and straight to the road. When I go, that's where I park. So I think when it was a bar, people was coming in and out. That's where they mostly go. But it's-
John, do you have anything to say? Being quiet.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of good points being made. I understand. I had a couple of questions about some of the matters that were still missing or pending, and lighting. I understand. I guess he submitted a lighting plan. Or lighting details. I haven't seen those. It's a far from ideal site or situation. But I think that speaks for a little bit of, flexibility and consideration, should that be warranted. The concerns I have, I think, are similar to the ones that you've expressed. I think particularly relative to the tight parking and maintenance. I'm not super worried about snow. People have been, managed to park around apartments and multifamily and housing for generations, and we figure out the snow. I don't think, placing snow for, a limited number of hours a year is the reason that a project like this should live or die. I do note that there are, I think you were just talking about, there is a very, very wide area between the edge of road on the state highway and the front of the building that is concrete and paved, and is certainly sufficient for some overflow parking or additional parking if needed. Relative to landscaping, obviously there's not much here, and the regulations do call for it, but I also would note that this is a very small site on a corner, and we probably don't want much landscaping at all, because that would tend to interfere with sight lines of people either turning onto Church Street or turning from Church Street onto the highway. And again, it kind of reinforces the fact that this is, it's a very tight site. It's an existing building that he's trying to productively reuse in using a regulation that this commission essentially wrote and adopted, considering this particular property. Obviously, it's broadly applicable to other properties in the village district, but the limit on total number of multifamily units, the ability to use a existing historic building, with that's on a lot of record, that's non-conforming by reason of size, is something that this commission clearly tried to provide some opportunity for. And it's not a clean site. It's not a very big site. So, there is a certain element of, can this be good enough and not truly put anyone at risk? It's certainly not the most convenient for anybody involved. But is it creating legitimate public safety problems while it's meeting an important need of more housing in town, I don't see any real significant public health, safety, and welfare concerns raised by this site design. You know, the cars will be a little bit tight, but you know, people get in and out of places that are much tighter than this.
Can we consider it just a less nonconformity?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Better than it was, kind of thing?
yeah. I mean, I think it's a substantial improvement to what has been there for many years, and provides, you know, an important feature, which is you know, multifamily housing, which is something that we don't have a lot in Voluntown.
Can I ask another stupid question? The well placement, and I didn't see an approval of the well. Did you get an approval of the well, the new proposed well? Okay.
Does the commission have any more questions for me? You know, I've
82 or
been
87?
involved with this thing for 35 years, and I know a lot of history to the building, and I know a lot of history to the site.
Can I use your scale?
Sure.
So you get 5 more feet then. Can't read this number.
So the wells, is it 75 feet or 100 feet? And you've got 2 of them within a 75-foot radius.
75 feet by state health.
I thought it was 100 feet. What? Yeah, I know down Shoreline it's 100.
It's 100 if it's serving a larger population, or if it's a you know, a public supply drinking well.
Okay, so, yeah, but is that, I mean, we've got a proposal of 14 people in that building. Is that considered?
It's a single building with under 25 people.
Okay. So, but there's 2 wells within 75 feet. That's what I'm saying to you.
That's okay.
Yeah. It would be more problematic if the wells were within 75 feet of the septic system, but being proximate to another well is not a huge deal.
There's 3 ones. isn't
Well, yeah, the old wells over here still. Yeah.
I mean, if you look up and down Church Street, if you look at, you know, the neighborhood across from Town Hall, there's probably, you know, 15, 20 feet in between wells there.
Okay.
That well that you were just pointing to, that's gone now because that used to be in that little green area.
Right, which is gone.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all paved over.
Yeah.
Is that concrete slab out front gonna stay? Is it raised?
Yes, it's,
It's staying raised.
I was living in Bedford before.
I know. Is the only entrance in the back, or is there an entrance in the front there?
There's one in the front.
Yeah, I mean, I would just put the one spot right there. Just to make it conforming.
What?
Use the front as for one of the spots. And then put garbage cans and stuff against the fence on the, you know.
Well, then this could, I mean, then this grade change doesn't have to happen. And then they could actually plant plantings along this side.
Yeah.
This side here, I don't think you can do anything but a fence.
the
Post
post
office,
office.
yeah.
The post office.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
have
there's
a little more
enough
room for
room on
snow.
this side with the grass to plant plantings in here.
Yeah, here you said.
If that parking spot was gone.
I would like to see the fence you're speaking about between the 2 pieces of property is a fence that will last for some period of time, because if you put up one of these wooden fences with wooden poles, in a few years, the poles rot and the fence comes down, and that's the end of it. Then who's responsible to maintain the fence? So you gotta have some kind of a boundary between you that's gonna be permanent for the next 10, 20, 30 years. We put the chain link fence up in the back, and it's still up, and that's been up since 1990.
I mean, realistically, you should put chain link fence with privacy in it. It would do the purpose there, though.
Well, plant,
I
some
mean,
kind of vines. Yeah, maybe or something like that. That would go.
Well, if there's no other questions, and
No,
Thank you.
No,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We can keep this copy.
yeah, you keep that copy.
Thank you very much.
I have a question. Kevin Schultz, 149 Preston City Road. If they're allowed to park out front, number one, I have to ask the question, is it legal to have parking out front? And if so, how many? And can we have the plans reflect how many spots are
I was
there
just thinking
before the
one.
project takes off?
We were talking about maybe they're not being the full
Have you seen
24
this map?
feet.
Is it, are we considered parking out front or not? Yes or no?
You can park up front, I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing. in
Oh,
the
yeah.
way.
Big spots.
The only thing you can't do is back out onto a state highway. But if you angled the parking or made it parallel to the building, there is, if you look at the survey, there is plenty of width in between the state right of way and the edge of the building where the, you know, the concrete area is.
That's the point. If it's not laid out, they're gonna park anywhere they want.
Yeah.
Anywhere they want. So
I mean,
can we have the plans reflect that and have the parking?
If you want, can I quickly share my screen?
Need to reflect everything.
Yes, please. So.
All right, let's see.
Everybody.
Let me see if I can get this. Oh, it's not letting me. Hold on. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, yep.
So it's, you know, you see the edge of pavement or the edge of the state road, and you've got this significant width in between the edge of the building where you could certainly, you know, stow a couple of cars.
Can you park in the state right away?
I believe it's outside the state right of way. If you look at the survey,
You
this,
have from there, but you have.
like right here where the pavement color changes slightly, where you can, if you can see my cursor.
Yeah.
I believe that's the edge of the state right of way.
Don't forget, the fire department's right up the road,
Yeah,
and we're getting like 400 calls a friggin' year now.
Yeah.
Very busy spot.
I would just worry that they don't have anything, right? I mean, I'm assuming this is town, so this is town, the town put that paved apron in. So that's an approved deal. What's approved for access on this side? Just like, I mean, Albano had to go and get. Oh, because
Well, the paved apron is the way across the state property into or the town property into the private property. That's what I presume they'd be using.
see, I'd rather see something
Right
like
up on
either,
Church Street.
yeah,
I can see another spot here.
yeah.
That dumpster.
Not here.
There's plenty of.
Right.
Yeah. Park it.
Like how they can get in the stuff.
I could go straight in.
Well, this is the apron over here.
Right.
Now you got a spot right here. How does he get over to here and out?
True.
This is already paved.
Yeah.
But they don't have.
If
You
there's
can't-
room
you
for
can't
somebody
be
to pull
here.
It's definitely tight.
room for somebody to pull in straight in the front of the building, they're gonna pull it straight, 100%.
Oh,
And then they're gonna be backing out.
yeah.
And then that's where it's gonna cause a problem.
Well,
For sure, that's what they want. That's what I would-
That's
how I would
how
push
you
it.
throw it.
You can solve that with
But if,
hardscape somehow, but.
yeah, like if you
Because the
made it
portion
so
of
that
that-
part
It's
is
just
just,
something else that has to.
I don't know what that would.
That's gonna be the first class.
We got too much property.
So there's no parking at all.
And this is that staircase or something. So that has to stay.
It's still question and answer session.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Father has a question.
go ahead.
Yeah,
go right ahead.
according to the town planner, he's indicating a picture with the blacktop line. But on the plan that I just gave you people here, uh,
Over here.
Make sure you show it.
yeah, well, you got the highway line, the highway taken line that was in when the bill, 165 was built. This is the highway taken line. Between the highway taken line and the building, there's not any, and it's paved now, and you can park a car, but you're actually parking the car half onto the state highway land and half onto the building land, because if you use the scale here, I don't know if they show it on this plan here, if they show a highway line. But this is the taken line of 165 that goes down to the intersection.
Yeah, it looked like to
Thank
me
you.
that there was,
Uh,
10 feet. You know, enough for a car to be sideways.
All right, this, see this plan here.
This is 20. So you've got 12,
So
14 feet.
let me, you did surveys, just had an A2 survey. then.
No, the A2 survey, it's pre-existing right
It's
there.
that one.
This one shows anywhere from 9 feet to 13.
Which then it's part, and I agree with you, you're not off the road.
Right, because if you,
Because you're gonna need a couple feet, you're not.
To open the door.
You're not. you're
when we
not
put
gonna
the, we put a monument in when it was originally surveyed, this one here, and there was a pin driving into the pavement, but it's been repaved over. This is the edge of the road, but between the buildings, it seems like a lot, but most of it
It's road.
is on the state. And this part here is owned by the lot. Legally, you can't park cars even on an angle.
Yeah, well, they're talking parallel.
What's that?
One
I'm
parking
saying
spot.
just one parking spot here.
Yes,
Yeah, but
parallel.
there's not enough
Parallel
room.
to the
You know,
road.
said
Parallel.
You had 9'3" or something like that.
9 by 18 spot. Or you might
10,
be
10 by 20 is our minimum spot.
You have the 10,
Close.
that's 11.
Oh, I thought you said it was 9'3". 9'3" to 14.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, there's like an angle, so
Good angle.
you've got it. You know, right about here, make one. Just. Or it could be where it is. 10 feet. Trash can, okay. And
You think if you make it so that there's only parking in the back, you have to do something in the front to have nobody be able to park there.
Yeah.
Because
Put a
people are
bollard.
gonna park.
Yeah,
planters.
Something, yeah, something.
something's got to be done in that front.
Big planters. That's your landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's only two
I mean,
solutions.
I'm wondering if this could come tight here and give us some room to get some paintings along this side.
Yeah, probably.
Does anybody in the public have anything else they would like to add? or-
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but there's probably there's two solutions. Somehow or other, you gotta get a little more parking space in the back. Yeah, or else he's gotta diminish it to 3 apartments. And that's probably what this gentleman doesn't want to hear, because, I mean, he spent quite a bit of money there already.
So I'm sorry, Mr.
I was shocked when he started working on it, that somebody would take that on. That's a big project.
That's
Okay, doing.
So do we want to table discussion, have more discussion? What was the, there's a lot of open-ended stuff right now, and I don't want to close it.
I wouldn't close the hearing.
No.
You should probably show some attempt at
Correct.
landscaping or that fence or, something along that side. And if you're gonna put lighting up on that deck,
Yeah, that come from inside, that's not part of the outside
Okay.
lighting, so they'll be lighting on the deck.
and there's no extra room in this deck area.
For what?
These fingers, they can
Well, yeah, I
put
mean,
it on
is
the
there,
spot,
is there like under one of those platforms area to put your trash cans and stuff?
That's what
Oh,
I'm
there's
saying.
plenty of places around the
Okay,
building to
okay.
put trash.
So I think if you had a note for that, we need some sort of bollards or something to protect all that decking and the bulkhead and stuff. I'm not crazy about the concrete. Is that concrete walkway already there that comes out?
Yes.
That's in the parking? Is that what that is?
Oh, you have 24 there. What's the proper distance between those two spots? That's good.
Between what?
When
Which way are
you
you?
were asking between the end of this parking spot and this, right?
No, I'm talking about the pinch point between this parking spot, this corner.
Yeah.
And this end.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Between here and here. There's not. And then it gets less as you go down. So I think the consensus of the commission is that we'd like to see some bollards or something along there. Some sort of a buffering along 90 Preston City Road. Something to keep somebody from parking in the front. And a fence along 42 Church Street on the print.
What was the last part? I'm sorry.
A fence along 42 Church Street.
I was wondering.
Along the end of the road?
Make this away out.
I know.
Would that open up more parking? Because you have one way in, one way out? Instead
No,
of two way?
it would take,
You'd take away a piece.
oh, no.
You
no,
can
he's
park
what
on the
he's
right
saying.
hand side over
So if we put,
Oh.
if we put another spot here, right? Would we have the 13? That's a good idea, though.
There's not enough there.
Ten by 20, right?
We don't get 14 either.
Question. First thing on behalf of my father, my name is Stephen Johnson. Regarding the fence that's going to be erected, will that be on a surveyed line? Because if it's a permanent structure, you don't want
It probably should be a surveyed. I
it,
mean,
well, probably different than is. Will that property line be surveyed with markers, monuments installed, and the fence installed to the monument lines?
Would have to be.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
We looked at every possible parking scenario.
We looked at it pretty
Yeah.
hard. I do have a suggestion. Leap of faith here.
Yeah.
That if you could ease up on the requirement to have the same number of parking. It could be in the rental agreement that you're only allowed one car. Even though, your regulations would allow two. And that would resolve the problem.
I was thinking the same thing, with the 1-bedroom units.
Yeah, they got one.
That'd be a four
That's two. It would have to be,
Two parking spaces.
it would have to be on the 3-bedroom, they'd have to go down to 1, or 2-bedroom down to 1. And
Were you saying 3
I-
cars for that? For that?
Two one-bedroom units.
I wasn't really
Two
going
parking
in that
spaces,
direction.
okay.
I wasn't trying to reduce the number of bedrooms, because that's where the cash comes from. Just when they rent the apartment, say, look, you're only allowed, don't come in here with 3 teenagers with vehicles, that's all.
well, so if you look at this here, that last parking spot. If this one was straight like the rest of them and in here, okay, then we can get plantings along this side. It still complies, you don't lose a parking spot. Still says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you're going to square this up.
Correct, giving you some space here, where right now you've got about 2 feet. You'll have room here for plantings.
I mean, I like it. The thing is, I don't know if that vehicle's gonna make it out of
I
there.
mean, if you'll be able to turn it like this.
Really far out.
Yeah.
And your idea was to come around. and try to get in here, but
Well, what's right here? I mean, what's this?
that's that right away, probably not here. Don't need.
So you're going to be able to put in the driveway. Right?
I couldn't wrap it around, try to get some.
That's a tough piece.
That's all I have. So,
I mean, in the same, I mean, you're gonna have to have ballards along this side and along this side.
yeah, that's really no problem.
Yeah,
And we
But
agree- we agree
it
with
all needs to be on the print. You know, do something, how does the board feel about the Preston City roadside?
That's honestly my only concern.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah, I
care
don't-
about the cars there.
yeah.
I don't know what to do, a planter box or something, throwing stones on it and get boulders in front, whatever. Do stuff.
Well, try to find something fairly economical, and we could put punch holes in the asphalt. Like, put $2 in there, right? That's-
How about turning it back into grass?
Different stuff, it's gonna be more expensive. Okay.
Well, that's concrete, it's concrete.
Yeah, but I'm just saying all the asphalt, what if you take it back to grass?
You could have, since you do have to get rid of your trash somehow, you can, do like a little lattice,
Yeah.
the enclosure there that the trash
And put
cans
the
are all
trash,
in.
that's
there.
not a bad idea.
Make it,
And the garbage truck will be stuck out in the street.
Well, so is that, you are using a garbage truck,
I beg your pardon?
so where's the dumpster going? That's
Well,
that's
garbage
exactly.
Well, you're
It's not
assuming
there to
dumpster.
dump
We
bins.
talked about,
no, just for garbage cans,
Yeah,
yeah, right, that's what I'm talking about.
but you couldn't get a truck in here to get rid of garbage cans, I was saying. like,
You really wanna put the garbage out on your main road, though.
Oh, that's where I put mine. On 49.
Well,
I just
So
thought, there
that's
you
on
go.
trash day, yeah.
Oh, you have enough room there. That the truck can come by and do its little orange thing.
Yeah.
I was just saying, he was saying to try to prevent people from parking there, since you have to find a place for this anyway. You could do some enclosure up front.
Just find a bunch of concrete, throw some posts in there.
yeah, as long as they can't park along that.
So there wouldn't be any landscaping in front.
I like the plant one.
Put some planter boxes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really care about that either.
I like the plan,
Sounds good.
I mean, it is a main road.
The building, it just is gonna be an improvement. It's careful to plant box.
Just trying to get it to comply as much as possible with you there.
What are you looking at over here? Back of the house.
Well, it's,
They looking at this pretty, again, at anything that's better
Yeah.
than looking at it. what it was.
in the current condition that it was, yeah. no. So somebody want to make a motion to table this till table the public hearing to next month? John, we can go another 30 days, correct?
Yeah, once you open the public hearing, you have a standard 35 days to close. So if you have this meeting next month, that's still within the public hearing period.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we table this until, another public meeting next month, and that'll give them
You gotta-
time to,
Say the date and the time.
Clock,
yeah, 7 o'clock,
hold on, give me the date.
so December 18th. December 18th.
And could you guys be clear about the things you want to see so that
Yep,
Yes.
fence along 42 Church Street.
Lighting for the deck.
I think you said it was inside.
Okay.
Bollards,
Some attempt at landscaping.
some attempt at landscaping along 90 Preston City Road.
I prefer wording it as some attempt of keeping cars from parking on that side.
Okay,
That way they've got many options. They could put ballards, they could put stone wall, they could do whatever they want. right?
So, yes,
Something to delineate no parking there.
yep, and then, yeah, that's, well, no, that's Preston City Road.
That's Preston City
Yeah,
Road.
it's Preston City Road.
And then this one. Sorry to keep sticking on it, but there's gotta be some sort of an easement here. I can't understand.
Yeah,
It
and
looks
then
like it's all-
I don't know if you can dig into that at town hall or wherever to see if there's an easement from the apron to your property.
I'm sorry, I'm losing you when both of you start saying.
Because it's showing
Okay.
us all one part.
You're showing where your
Not
property
right away.
lines are, and you're showing us where the paved apron's at, but there's no driveway between the two. Is
Not
there
showing
a
a
deeded
connection.
access from Church Street for you?
How do you drive in your driveway? You drive over town property, you leave the pavement.
I own up to the
Right
road.
of way.
And then I have a paved apron that we paid for that comes onto my property from the town road.
I bet you don't.
Most-
I'll bet you.
It has to.
Yeah, most,
They nabbed me for it when
yeah.
we redid our
Yeah.
driveway, yeah.
But this isn't
See,
showing us
the-
the road right of way.
The thing is, Church Street,
It's showing us this property.
Okay, but it's not.
Correct me
You
if
have the
I'm
map right there.
correct me if I'm wrong, Church Street changed in that whole, that's why it's changing this. That footprint changed, the road moved. When they did that revitalization. And I don't think that it shows, we've not had an issue because everything just got extended. But there's nothing there.
Oh,
How do they get into the post office?
Here's what I would say, I would go to a selectmen's meeting and ask for a driveway permit. Because they need a driveway permit.
What does this taking number 2 mean? Okay. Taking 3, taking 2. Here, it doesn't show there's a road right away either, but it does say taking number 2. I don't know if that means.
Well, they widened Church Street apparently. And monuments are there.
Okay.
Those CHPs
Right.
are there actually there.
Yeah, it's not wildly clear, but I mean, I see what you're saying. Normally it would show connection. They are highway markers,
So
although you're not.
are we clear on what is being asked?
I believe it is, but I'm gonna have access to your minutes, right? So,
Correct.
They can always see John.
Yeah, we see John. Good call. Did somebody second that motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
No, I didn't know if we finished the motion.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. As you know, it will be continued to next month. All right, so next will bring us to approval of minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick, don't give up.
Who, me?
Yeah, don't give
Oh, I'm
up.
98% there.
No.
98%. I only have 2% left.
Hang on, one more month.
2 months after that. will be
Make a
3
motion to
years.
approve the minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Does anybody remember the great big huge baby grand piano there?
No.
We took it all out of it, and sadly, the roof ain't bad enough where it,
Thanks, Ron.
so we scrapped the brass.
Too bad.
Yeah.
All right, so you're,
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the September meeting.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Additions to agenda. Yeah, that just has to be entered. This one has to be entered as
It's the same as this.
along with, do you have this already? For lighting? Take that as well. I took that as well.
This is a question. This is a worse copy. We only have 2 copies. One shows the copy for- submitted.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Taylor,
We're still in our meeting, so.
Oh, I thought you adjourned.
No, we are still, we're out of the public hearing. Okay. All right, minutes have been approved. Citizens' comments. Anybody? No, continue on. New business schedule of meetings, which I have not seen that. John, you there?
What's that?
Schedule of meetings.
Yeah.
I did not see the paperwork. Well, I haven't looked in the mailbox either, so.
So there, I think there was a discussion about, and I know, you had expressed some concerns to me previously about the wisdom of continuing with a third Wednesday, because it had seemed in the last couple of months we were struggling to have a quorum. If the commission, so we didn't prepare a formal proposed slate of meetings because I think we wanted to revisit the best day conversation. And if this commission would prefer to return to a second Tuesday schedule, which what it was previous to this year, that's sort of something that could be discussed, and I could figure out how to make that work for my schedule as well.
Wednesdays are conflict. East Hampton meetings are Wednesday.
It's always historically been the second Wednesday
Yeah.
of every month.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I can-
Wait,
What other-
second
what-
Wednesday works.
What others available, Taylor?
So I got the 4th Wednesday and the 4th Thursday and the 2nd Thursday, and we can swap it back to the 2nd Wednesday.
Thursdays are.
Thursdays are
horrible.
bad.
Yeah, Thursdays are horrible.
I like Wednesdays. Second, third,
Yeah,
fourth.
Wednesdays,
Second
Wednesdays.
Wednesday will work. I have one first and third.
Okay, so second Wednesday.
Wasn't East Hampton
It is.
third, first and third, right?
What's that?
East Hampton's wetlands.
East Hampton Wetlands is East Hampton Wetlands is the last Wednesday,
Or
whatever
April
that is.
Tonight, yeah. Right, so P and Z is first and wetlands is fourth there.
Or 5th.
So we're gonna go back to second Wednesday, right?
That's what we've historically been.
Didn't we leave that because John didn't have availability?
Right, and I will,
Yeah.
I'll have to reassign a member of my team to cover the second Wednesday meeting, and I'll come back to this one.
Right.
That's what we had before.
I know.
I feel like.
I
it
came
worked-
last week.
I feel like it worked better for everybody.
I
I know.
The town meeting.
I like this, but.
I actually
don't
it's
came
not
on the
moving
meeting.
me.
Oh,
What is
I
that,
walk
the
right
third
into my-
Wednesday?
Oh, guess it's not this week.
It is now, right? Next one.
Yeah.
We just, you guys make it a new one.
I like the third Wednesday.
Third Wednesday.
Well, we wouldn't change
I have
it
plan, I have,
until,
in the
January.
Moreland on the first week,
January.
so that's
January.
meeting.
that's fair.
All right, second Wednesday, beginning January.
Now it's everyone.
See.
so
Second.
we make a motion to go to the second Wednesday, starting in January of every month.
I'll make a motion that we go the second Wednesday, starting in January, every month afterwards.
7 o'clock PM, I assume.
7
o'clock.
PM.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None motion carries. All right. That's easy. What's next? Subdivision regs. Can you give us the condensed version tonight?
Well, we had basically been doing this sort of section by section, and I apologize. I'm actually not on my regular computer, so I could share my screen, but it's not going to look the way I want it to look. But yeah, this time, I don't know, Taylor, had you printed up this for the?
Yes.
Make a motion, table it.
Yeah, you want to table it?
I did send them some,
Yeah, I got that. So Juliet, I can incorporate your changes and we can have a full markup
do
for next
that.
month if you'd like.
I only made it to page 18, but
Taylor
or I didn't make it.
Taylor left the
I
building.
still have a couple
Taylor
more
left the
pages to
building.
give you. John. I ran
What's
out.
that?
I have a couple.
Yeah, no,
more.
I saw that. That's I appreciate your efforts on it, Juliet. If
Okay.
I'll
The 3 pages. So I'll do that tomorrow. They're tiny and there's nothing. Just suggested some additional things with the site plan. Standard things, the site plan for that. Are you adding in conservation subdivisions?
What?
Adding in conservation subdivisions? I keep seeing that. pop
no,
up.
I think we ultimately decided that we're just going to stick with the standard model.
Did
There
you-
wasn't a lot of energy behind that, and given the town's extensive open space, that it wasn't considered a priority.
Was there any correspondence and announcements?
Taylor?
Keeps leaving the room. No? Okay.
No.
Are we tabling these?
Yes.
The changes, the tabling it to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have a motion. Want to make it?
I'll make a motion to table the subdivision regulations to next month.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right. ZEO report.
It's been relatively quiet. There was a couple of essentially RVs and people apparently living out of RVs for extended periods of time that we've issued notices of violation, one on Jones Road, one up on Bailey Pond, and following up on those. There's a more recent issue. I wasn't there today. I'll be in office tomorrow. I understand someone submitted a formal complaint about marauding chickens who aren't respecting property lines. So we will have to look into that tomorrow. But it's been relatively quiet.
I swear to God, that is the number one, if zoning officials were gonna write a book, that would be the number one offense, wayward chicken.
Yeah.
And roosters,
Oh,
yeah.
roosters the worst. Whatever, chickens and
Young
roosters.
cars and wayward chickens.
Other dogs.
Let's go.
Taylor, please let me know if I'm leaving something out.
I don't think you are.
And I'd also note that Taylor, as our deputy CEO, has completed both halves of her Casio training.
Don't do it.
Run
away.
Did, whatever came of the blight stuff up on 49, that was,
Which house? Upper 49?
yeah, up on Pendleton Hill, the one that had all the, that was it went into foreclosure.
Pendleton doesn't have one.
I'm sorry, Econ.
Okay, I'm like,
Yeah, I think that's still going through foreclosure. I don't think I have a more recent update.
It got a canceled, it was a canceled thing out there, and then the neighbors have a foreclosure sign out there now too.
Couple more cars down
I know you said, you had said that you hadn't heard anything back because there was nobody living there.
This is the property up on Econ Kill?
Correct.
Yeah, no, we all right, now I may be confusing this with a different one. You think that we didn't get a response?
Correct.
I believe the response was they were in process of moving out and would be cleaning up. And I just drove up past there today. I didn't note that there was any issue, but I'll be there tomorrow morning, so I can check.
All right, perfect. So that's it for the ZEO report. Would you like to move into the planning report?
Sure. So from a planning standpoint, aside from dealing with the applications and subdivision regulations, we've ongoing grant management. In the last month, you note that the playscape behind you opened up and was finalized. That grant is now complete. Improvements to town hall, I believe, are all accounted for and are basically complete. There's minor punch lists with some painting and some. There was going to be a slab installed behind the library for a seating area. I don't know if that's been done yet, but that's still to come. We have had a number of meetings with the consultants on the water system study, and again, we're looking at potential water systems for Voluntown Village Center and Beach Pond, Bennett Circle. We were going to be investigating tomorrow some potential community well sites. The community well sites in Voluntown Village Center are all on town property, either the school property or behind town hall, or the public works property. And on Bennett Circle, we're going to be looking at a couple of properties owned by the Belisles, who are cooperating with this study. Unfortunately, tomorrow looks like it's going to be the first rain we've gotten in like 2 months. So of course, that's when we were scheduled. So we're rescheduling for, I believe, next week to go out and investigate just some preliminary reconnaissance for community well locations. And then for the sidewalk grants, that design is underway. I believe most of the survey is in hand. And so we'll hopefully see basically 60% designs in the next month or so. And then I'll also note that we're going to be submitting another grant through the Community Investment Fund to do architectural planning for the old red barn behind this parking lot, between the parking lot and the playscape on Gate Street, to basically make it a functional recreation facility, parks and recreation, offices, community space, bathrooms, and some storage. So in order to, we're going to do structural assessment, architectural planning, and building design for the renovation of that building. That's what the grant application will be for the planning and design, essentially.
Now, or correct me if I'm wrong, are all these grants that we're receiving matching funds grants?
Not all of them, no. The sidewalk grants are paid 100%. Construction is paid by the state. The town is responsible for the engineering design. The Community Investment Fund, the water system planning grant is 100% paid by the state. There's no town matching funds. And then the steep grants for the the Parks and Rec facility and the town hall improvements did include some match, some cash and some in kind.
What do
But I think it was maybe 10%.
Pretty low.
So the town is really maximizing its grant leverage here. I think that's all I've got.
Is there anything that?
Motion to adjourn?
No, that's fine by me.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
does anybody have
Yeah.
any other questions?
I make a motion to
I,
adjourn.
one thing, John, if somebody comes before the board, maybe have them bring a map or a sketch or something before the board, before they just do a public hearing.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of changes on this tonight. And
Yeah.
we could have had a lot less folks riled up if we just had a meeting with the folks prior.
But you can't.
No,
No.
it's in our,
We can do that.
I think this is what happened last month. though.
Conceptual plan.
You can have you can have a conceptual conversation, sure.
Through to get 'em.
But I mean, the public hearing is very often to address, to raise concerns formally on the record and to have them corrected. So I don't, this is not uncommon for the applicant to not get it right, not, be 100% satisfactory the first time around. I would say, Juliet, and you can confirm this. That's pretty much the rule. There are always changes between the first and second public hearings. But yeah,
These drawings last month, right? Yeah. So had we had a meeting last month, some of these might have gotten addressed.
right. But then the public hearing would have been, anytime it depends. You have to be careful about not requiring a preliminary conversation because that might inadvertently start the statutory time clock on it. It really needs to be a voluntary thing on the applicant's behalf.
Because it sometimes, yeah.
Well, I'm just
You
saying,
could
maybe
have done that.
suggest.
Yeah, of course. And
Or we'll be happy to work with, we've done it so many times.
I feel
To
like,
save them money in the long
well,
run.
that's where I was gonna go. He's very stressed on money
Yeah.
and I gotta watch what I say because we've got a public hearing open, you can't.
Right.
But this is a role of
Yeah.
you too, as a
Yeah.
planner, I mean, could have
Guidance.
brought up the things that were technically not.
Didn't meet the rest of the
Warning, so
regs.
we
I
don't
mean,
think that-
did we rewrite a reg that would allow it? Yes, we did.
they still
But
have
it's
to
their
conform.
job to fit it all to the regs too.
Am I allowed to ask a question on something he mentioned, the owner?
I would not.
I would hold off.
Hold on. Hold
No,
on.
I mean, like,
That's why I don't
We're-
public
like, I
hearings
would
right off
work with
bat.
the-
That's why I like
the
that. I just
applicant
have a
first,
question
so
of
that
something he said.
come
that
in
he's
with
not
their
allowed
plan.
to do.
Yeah, and I did review a previous versions of this. Their previous versions had no parking indicated at all. I indicated that we wanted parking details, we wanted lighting details, we wanted landscape details. If they didn't show up, I can't force them to have done that, but I reviewed earlier versions of this.
Okay.
Okay, was it?
Well, that
Thank you.
makes us feel a little better.
Much better.
Much better.
Thank you, John.
If it's something that needs a public hearing, you have the preliminaries and
Alright.
something we might come.
Right.
Motion to
Right.
adjourn.
Yeah, somebody make a motion to adjourn.